Hello there, this is Humans of Mitti Ke Rang, and today we have been joined by Ms. Jamila Datawala. She became an entrepreneur at the age of 20 by founding her own company, that is, the Daily Sue. The Daily Sue aims at giving people the most fashionable and occasion appropriate ridas. Tune in to know more about her life and experiences as an entrepreneur.
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good too. Um, so let's wait a couple of seconds for a few more people to join us and then we'll start.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think let's start.
Okay.
So welcome everybody. Today we have with us Miss Juhi Jaiswal. She is the founder of Essence of Living, and she's also studied psychology and is a Reiki practitioner. And we are going to know more about her and her career. And so, Juhi, should we get into the questions?
Yeah, sure. We can begin, or I can just say a few things, and then we could
Sure.
begin, however.
Whatever is comfortable to you.
So I just wanted to say hi to everybody, and so glad to be here. And thank you for inviting me. And yeah, and Mitti Rang is something that I've recently started following.
Sorry,
I think there's a bit of a net issue.
yeah, could you say that again, please? The last sentence.
Yeah, I said Mitti Rang.
Oh,
Okay, is this
I don't
better
know what's
now?
wrong. I'm sorry, please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just repeat myself. I was saying Mitti Rang is doing a lot of good work, and I saw your post on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and your website. So it's very heartwarming to see that so much of work is going out into the world. So
Mhm.
much of good work is going out. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Julie. And I would also like to thank Maria for connecting us. So yeah,
right.
that's why you're with us here today. So moving on to the questions. Should we start?
Sure.
So, yeah, you work in the area of mental health and wellness. So, how did you start?
How did I start? So I did my bachelor's in psychology, and before that, I always wanted to study psychology just
Mhm.
out of an interest in the subject. And I always knew that I wanted to, for lack of a better word, help people. And that's how I got into psychology. In my 11th, 12th, I had commerce, and I was really not happy studying commerce, and my heart was always in psychology, and that's how I got into it. And yeah, since then it's been one track all along. So yeah,
Yeah,
and after that I did my masters as well. So that's how I became a psychologist.
and next, moving on, you're also a Reiki practitioner. So, please share with us what exactly is Reiki, what does it involve, and how did you get into this as well?
Okay, so I got into this practice through my family, my aunts, my mom. are into Reiki. And when I was in college, is when I started. I did my level 1 right in my third year, and so Reiki is basically a way. It's an alternative way of healing, and it involves the exchange of energy. It's not really an exchange; it's transfer of energy. So it's not my energy or any practitioner's energy. It is more about the universal energy being transmitted through the practitioner
Mm-hmm.
into the person who is receiving the healing. There are two types of Reiki at the moment. There's Reiki Usui, which is more traditional in its in the sense of there are things like symbols, there are certain technicalities which are different. And then there's Reiki Tumo, which I have done, which is a little newer.
Mm-hmm.
It originates in Usui only, but it's just that it doesn't have symbols and few technical details are different. But at the core of it, both are the same practice in itself. And it is not really, some people use it as a alternate way of healing themselves. Some use it additionally. So they also go in for traditional, like allopathic or a
Mm-hmm.
homeopathic kind of a treatment, but they will take this in addition to what they are actually taking as a course of treatment. So there are a lot of Reiki practitioners today that in Pune, especially, you will see Pune, Bombay, a lot of the metros have a lot of Reiki practitioners doing a lot of good work.
Wow. So, you have recently founded your own company, Essence of Living. So, what is
Yeah.
Essence of Living exactly? How did the idea come to you?
So Essence of Living came to me uh, as a concrete idea. It came to me last year, but I've always wanted to do something of my own. And when I was told that, so I also have a mental health issue that I deal with. So around that time when the whole diagnosis and everything was happening is when I realized that, there is a lot of need for awareness, and there is a lot of need for normalizing the topic of mental health. And this was some 10-15 years ago. And but I was much younger then, and I didn't really have the know-how of doing all these things.
Mhm.
So I also wanted to get my masters and everything in place. So did all of that, worked for a little bit, and then finally I've last year I have I decided to start off the organization. It's in a very beginning stage right now. There are a lot of things that need to be put into place and all of that. But at the moment, we have a team of collaborators um, sitting in together and creating content which is deliverable. So we're basically into workshops and trainings around the concept of mental health and
Mhm.
awareness. And we're also into life skills training and things like that. So I got certified as a life skills trainer as well. I got certified as a meditation coach. And these are the kind of things that we believe will help us live better lives so that we can prevent mental illness rather than cure it. So
Right.
that's the whole idea behind it, that we're talking of preventing it rather than curing it. Curing is obviously there when when there is a need, but preventing it is what we are looking at.
Right. So, you also said you teach what is heart-based meditative practices. So, could
Right.
you please tell us more about that?
So that is, so it is a way. So when we think of meditation, tell me, what is your idea of meditation, or
Mhm.
what do you
So,
think meditation is?
so from what I have observed and seen, meditation is mostly just trying to become one with yourself, have a balanced
Right,
thought process, have a balanced body, that sort of a thing.
right, right. So usually when we talk of meditation, you will hear the first thing that comes out of people's mouth, and I'm not kidding. The minute I say, "Hey, do you know meditation, or do you want to meditate?" And they're like, "Oh, it's not for me. I've tried it. It's too hard." Right? And I'm wondering, why is it so hard? It's not that hard. And what I've understood is that the whole thing around meditation is that it has become very complicated. People have tried to intellectualize it a lot. It's um it's become like almost out of reach for a lot of us, right?
Mm.
Whereas heart based meditation is something, so it's not about thoughtlessness, it's not about focus and concentration, it's not about any of that. It's all about getting in touch with your inner self. How do you do that? Through the concept of smile. Now, okay, it sounds like very like voodoo, right? You using a smile to get in touch with yourself. But if you realize, you smiled and I smiled back immediately. If you notice this happens so often, right? It's the easiest way to connect between two people. And if
Yes.
it's the easiest between two people, then within yourself, it's even more easy. So the practice is called Smile to Your Heart. It's what I learned about 5 years ago, and we do it in sessions where we sort of talk about we. It's more about doing. I mean, less about doing and more about being. So that's what heart-based meditation is. It's not the physical heart we're talking about. We're talking about the heart chakra. The spiritual heart is what we're talking about when we're
Hmm.
talking of heart-based meditation.
So, how exactly do you get in touch with that part of yourself? So, what is the
So,
process like?
okay, it's not it's a very experiential process, and it's different for everybody. But by and large, what happens is when you smile, you're able to let go of a lot of holding that you have, a lot of like contractions that you have in your body, a lot of when you smile, you will realize, and this is something that I would want to do with anybody who from the audience if they're interested, or even with you, Angela,
Sure, sure.
where we could, yeah, we can sit and just use the smile as a tool. And it is not so much, there's not so much of a technique in it. It's more of an energy that is created, and you know within your own energy, you're able to tune into that part of yourself which is already there within you. So smile is something like, it's like blood, like it's like it just flows. If we don't have to control it, we don't even have to let it happen. It just happens. Like, it's not like we're letting our breath work, or we're letting our blood flow happen, circulatory system it just happens on its own, because those systems are designed in our body, right? So the
Hmm.
smiles, and the concept of smile, and it's not so much of a concept, it's more of an experience. And I'm sure normally also when we smile, we know that it brings about a difference in our state of being, rather in than in our mind or anything else. In our state of being, there is a difference. So that's the whole idea, that the smile is what connects us to ourselves. And then there goes to deeper levels, it goes into higher levels, and then you can branch off into Reiki, or you can branch off into other deeper practices, which are more, and it's not so much of a meditation as such, as much as it is of a practice.
Hmm.
So
So,
that's about heart based meditation.
yeah. So you said if we could, if you can we give it a try right now? A quick try.
Yeah, sure, we can.
So I encourage all our viewers to try at home as well. So yes, please.
Okay, so you can just gently close your eyes. Get in touch with your body. Get a sense of how you're sitting, how your feet are on the ground, maybe they're folded. Take 2, 3 deep breaths. Deep breath in, out, deeper breath in, do now is smile. It may seem a little weird, you may feel a little awkward, that's fine. Just smile. Smiling sweetly, freely, gently. We can do better than that. Little bit more, little bit more. Smiling sweetly, freely, gently. Bit more, bit more. Come on, Angela, you can do better than this. There you go. There you go. Smiling sweetly, freely, gently. As wide as we can, ear to ear. Stretch it out. And what we're going to do is stop smiling. Absolutely stop smiling. No, Angela, you're not allowed to smile. Come on. You have to listen to your instructor. You're not allowed to smile. Just stop smiling. And see how this makes you feel. Smiling sweetly. Again. Freely. Gently. You can't wait to go back to smiling, can you? Come on. Smiling sweetly. Freely. Gently. And we're going to stop smiling in 3, 2, 1. Cancel all feeling. Cancel everything that you're feeling. And see how you feel differently. Going back to smiling. Going back to smiling. Sweetly, freely, gently. And whenever you feel ready with the same smile, you can gently open your eyes. Whenever you feel complete.
Sorry?
Whenever you feel complete, you can open your eyes.
Wow. Okay, that was quite an experience.
Did you like it?
Yes, my cheeks are hurting again.
it,
Oh,
seemed, it seemed that way, that you really enjoyed it. So I'm glad.
okay. I'm glad too. Um, Moving on to our next question.
Sure.
Um, and on this note, I would also like to let our viewers know that we are open to any questions from your side as well. So please feel free to comment it and we'll get to it. And next question is what what is life skills and why is it important for every person to be in touch with their life skills and develop their life skills?
Right. So, when we talk of a job, when we say that I am, let's say, a teacher, there are certain skills that you're required to have to be a good teacher, right?
Mhm.
You have to be good in talking to your students. You have to have a connection with your students. You have to have a knowledge of your, and I can go on for a while. Same way, living life is like doing a job which requires certain skills. if we don't have these skills in place, we are not going to be successful at living life. And this is not a competition with anybody else, but it is to say that to be successful at life is to be good at what is, to be successful in those areas which matter most to us. So, for example, if doing well at work is important to me, or if taking care of my family is important to me, or taking care of myself is important to me, how do I succeed in these areas? It's only if I have certain skills with me. Now, the WHO, mandates most organizations in mental health to talk of 10 life skills, but they don't end just there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because those life skills were written by WHO while they were trying to prevent spread of AIDS in the US, in Africa, sorry. And what it so those were skills required in that context, in that situation at that time. Whereas now life skills that we need are very different in the 21st century. So something as simple as gratitude can be a life skill, you know, because how do you live a life which is fulfilled is not just by asking for more and more, but also having more appreciation for what you already have in place.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that is trainable, teachable, learnable, anything of that category, any skill that can be taught to someone and someone can learn, that skill is a life skill. It could be as simple as changing a tire of a car, or it could be something a little more complex like gratitude or optimism or hope or faith, something like that. So that's the range of what life skills can be.
Right. And moving forward to mental issues. Um, I think everybody has minor mental issues at some point or the other in their life, even though they might not realize it themselves. But yeah,
Right,
everybody goes through a certain experience at least at one point in their lives. So, how can people deal with these minor mental issues at home, especially now in the lockdown? People must be getting, uh, anxiety
right,
attacks probably, or something on the same basis. So, how can we probably calm ourselves down?
right. I think it's not very difficult to take care of these mental health concerns that one may have. One of the things that you can do is talk to people. Talk to people on a phone call, on a video call, someone that who really understands you, someone you connect to. Uh,
Mhm.
Express how you feel. I think half our problems would be lesser if we actually started expressing how we really feel in our hearts, right? And if someone can share it, if we can share it with someone, it makes the burden lighter. Okay, so sharing is a huge part of taking care of your mental health. Taking care of yourself, self-care is very very important. Right from, let's say, having a shower every day, to maybe lighting a candle and trying to just have a good ambience while you're working.
Mhm.
Something as simple as even changing the light in your room, to a different setting, can have a very different effect on your mood and in a positive way. So these are some of the things which you can do, taking care of yourself in terms of even what you eat, where you're not just eating according to your taste, but also eating according to what your body needs, because you're not getting enough exercise, you're not getting out of the house that much because of the lockdown. So eating more of fruits and vegetables, having a healthier thing, and in that you can get creative. You can have creative recipes that you're doing or that you're creating, and all of those things. So those are some of the things one can do to take care of your mental health. When you are having extreme cases, please reach out to someone who was a professional, someone who was a trained listener, or someone who's a therapist or a counselor. There are a lot of numbers available online that you can reach out to. On Instagram, if you do a a search, you will find a lot of pages that have numbers where people are open to listening. So those are some of the things. Yeah.
Wow. So it's it's a very simple solution. But people are just not aware of themselves enough to apply that, is it?
Sometimes it's not that they're not aware. Sometimes you know you are aware of it, but doing it seems that, oh, it's not that important, it doesn't matter, it's okay, I'll manage. Generally we have that attitude, especially when it comes to our mental health. Physical health, still, we can see that, oh, I'm deteriorating, so people will take care of their physical health. But mental health, you can't see, right? It's very intangible. But
Mm-hmm.
and also the problem with mental health is that you're coming from a space, like, say for example, me, if I'm feeling sad or depressed, right, and I'm saying genuinely depressed, like not wanting to get out of bed, not being able to talk to my friends, that kind of depressed, to want to make myself feel better will only come when it reaches a particular point. Till the time I'll be like, nahi nahi, manage ho jayega, it'll be fine, I'll be okay. And telling that to yourself is important, but it's very important to draw that line somewhere, that now I need help, like now it's getting out of control and now I need help. Before it gets worse, I need to talk to someone. And I really want to say that there should be no guilt or shame in reaching out to a mental health professional, because it's normal. Not feeling okay is just a part of life. As we feel up
Mm-hmm.
and up, chirpy and happy, we also feel down in the dumps sometimes. And if we can take someone's help to make us feel a little bit better in that moment, it's always advisable to do that. Just make sure that you're taking it from the right person, and you're going out to a professional who is qualified.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one thing to keep in mind.
Yes. So we have a question from our viewer. Uh,
Sure.
Yomi asks, in your experience so far, has there been any memorable instances that reinforced your drive to grow in this field even more?
Okay. I think the first instance of what got me into mental health is something very close to my heart, even though it's not a happy memory. It is a new, I mean, it comes from a space where, so this was in grade 9 when I was studying, and lot of my friends would come and confide in me, and I don't know why. I still to date, I don't know why. They would just come and confide in me things that they were not able to talk to their parents about, or their siblings, or their other friends. They would come and confide in me, and that's when I realized that the power of just listening to someone without judgment, without questions, without trying to offer solutions. Because at 9-year old,
Mm-hmm.
at 14, you don't have anything to offer, right? All you can offer is your presence. And that is something that has till date kept me, whenever I feel like, okay, now I feel like I'm not doing the right way of listening, or I'm not listening to people in the right way, I just go back to that person I used to be, who would just hear people out, and just by way of that, how people feel understood and heard, is does half the healing. I think half the problem gets resolved there itself, and the rest half you can take care of by techniques and tips, and some practices that they can do. So that there comes in your professional guidance to them. But I think more than anything, it is the importance of just listening to someone. And I think if we all can try it out in our daily lives, where instead of when someone comes and talks to us, instead of telling them how to fix it or offering solution, and I know it comes from a space of wanting to help, but sometimes just hearing someone out can actually really help much more than doing any other kind of help as such. So that
Yes.
is one memory that really keeps me going, that that's the reason I'm here, that's the reason I'm doing what I do. So yeah,
Amazing,
thank
amazing.
you for asking that question.
And Since we have no more questions from the audience, I will come to the last couple of questions for the day. So, one, what is your vision for Essence of Living in the coming future?
So, what we really want to do is reach out to as many people as possible, whether through schools, whether through colleges, whether through we have different age groups that we want to work with, uh, and just have conversations, just have workshops around, mental health awareness, how it's okay to not be okay. I think that is something that is becoming a theme in a lot of mental health organizations work, that one issue is that we're not okay and we feel bad, we're feeling sad, we're feeling down in the dumps, or we're feeling
Mhm.
anxious. And our other issue is that we have a problem with feeling that way, so we're feeling bad and then we feel bad about feeling bad, so we compound the problem, right?
Mhm.
So I think to normalize it in the sense of just trying to talk about it, make it okay to talk about these things. That is one of the major things that we want to do. And the other is through our life skills training and meditation workshops, just promote a more conducive environment for people to grow, for
Mhm.
people to be okay with themselves, with their environment, and all of that. So these are two things that we really want to do in the next few months, years. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And finally, if anybody wants to get in touch with you or know more about you and your work, how can they do that? So please can you share your probably your social media handles or website with us?
Yeah, so the website is still under construction, but they can follow me on Instagram. I can leave my handle here, or you can just put it up if you can. Can I
You
also?
can just
Yeah, I can.
you can type it down. You
Yeah.
can say that as well.
Yep. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna.
Sure.
So my handle is embracing the grace, and I am on Facebook as Juhi Jaiswal. So that's my with my name, and you can follow us on Facebook as well. There's an Essence of Living page, um, and I'm on LinkedIn too. So again, with the name Juhi Jaiswal, you can find me and follow and share your love.
Most definitely. On this note, thank you so much, Juhi, for joining us today. It has been absolutely wonderful talking to you, and thank you for
Thank you
giving
so
us,
much.
yeah, thank you for giving us so much information on something that is very rarely spoken about. Thank you so much again.
Thank you for having me. It was a nice session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and good night, and stay safe.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.